Now this dog class isn't very interesting as of now, so let's enrich what we have by defining some properties that all dog objects should have. So earlier we mentioned that a dog has a name, it has an age, and it has a breed. Now to keep things simple for the time being, we'll just use name and age as two example properties to include in our dog class. Now the properties that we state that all dog objects must have are defined in a method called dunder init dunder, also known as the init method. Now every time a new dog object is created, the init method is instantly called upon and sets the initial state of the object by assigning the values of the object's properties. So this means that the init method initializes each new instance of the class and defines the values that are then used. But it's always easier to observe what this means, so let's create an example. So seeing as we want each dog to have a name and age that we can reference, we are able to pass this into the init method. In fact, we can pass any number of parameters into the init method, but we'll stick with 2 for now. Now, without causing unnecessary confusion, the first parameter that we will always stipulate in our init method is a variable called self. Now, theoretically, we do not need to put the variable name as self, but it is such a common practice that if you were to use anything else, it would likely confuse a lot of people. So we will follow the standard convention and we'll put the word self. But why do we put self? Well, when a new class instance is created, i.e. when we create a variable, for example, my_dog, and set it equal to a call on the dog class, i.e. set it equal to a dog object, the instance that is created is automatically passed to the self parameter inside the init method, so that the new attributes can be defined on the object. We don't actually pass in anything to this parameter ourselves, but when we create an instance, it is the instance itself which is passed into the self parameter and is handled behind the scenes. Once we have put the self parameter, we can add further attributes. So let's update the dog class with an init method that creates name and age attributes. So the idea here is that when we call my_dog and then place a dot, we will be able to access the dog's name and the dog's age, in the same way that when we press dot on a list object and press tab, we can see the append method or the count method. For our dog object, we'll be able to see the name attribute and the age attribute. So to be able to see the attribute on each instance of this dog class, after the colon, we are going to put self.name, which means when a user, for example, puts my_dog, which in this example would be in reference to self, and then .name, we will be able to see the value that's passed into it. And we want to set this value equal to the value that's passed into the parameter. So we're going to create a parameter called name, which will collect the information for the dog's name. So after self, we can put name, and then we can set our self.name equal to the name parameter. And we can do the same for age. So in our init method header, we can pass in a parameter called age, and then we can set self.age, i.e. when a user puts dot and then accesses the age attribute, this will be equal to the value that's passed into the age parameter. Okay, so now we've defined our class with 2 attributes defined inside the init method. We'll create a very quick instance of this class. So we'll first of all put my_dog and we'll set this equal to the dog class with a set of parentheses. Now notice here that if I try to run this code, we get a type error telling us that the init method is missing 2 required positional arguments, both name and age. So we need to pass in the information to the name parameter and the age parameter in order for this instantiation to work. So we'll put my_dog, and inside the dog class parentheses, we're going to put the name as Bruno, and we'll state that Bruno is 3 years old. When we now look at my_dog and look at the documentation, you can see that we're working with a dog type, i.e. a dog object. The docstring is telling us that we have a user-defined object to represent and manage dog data, And if I press the tab button, you can see we're able to access the age and name attributes. So if I now put my_dog.age and then run this code, you can see that we obtain the value 3. And if we have a look at my_dog.name, you can see that we bring back that this dog that we've created, i.e. this instance of the class, has the name Bruno. So to summarize, we have defined a class, we have a docstring, and then we have our init method to start. Notice that the definition of the init method is indented accordingly. Inside the body of the init method, there are 2 statements using the self variable, which enables us to call upon these attributes on the instance that we create. So by defining self.name, this creates an attribute called name and assigns to it the value of the name parameter that a user or a program can pass in. We also have self.age, and this assigns the value of age that is passed into the age parameter when calling the class. Attributes created in this init method are called instance attributes. So name and age are instance attributes in this example. Now an instance attribute's value is specific to a particular instance of the class. So if we think about collecting information on 20 dogs, we now know we can use this dog class, which will ensure all dog objects have a name and an age. But the values for the name and age attributes will vary depending on the dog instance that is created. So we can create 20 different variables and pass in 20 different sets of values. In the next video, we'll touch upon instantiation in slightly more detail to make sure we fully understand this concept.